Perfect. There we go.
Sweet. What's going on, lads?
Yo.
Xavier. Dude, there's two Xaviers that just tripped me out. I was like, well, wait, that's not him. He's down there.
Yes.
What up, Stone? Hold on. Oh, yeah, I have a responsibility to hand out microphones. 1 second. Let me fulfill duties and obligations. Riggs, the boys, Big Pine, your boy Aaron in plain sight. Oh, our boy Aaron. Yeah, our boy Aaron's coming on to talk about an experiment he wants to do. He's trying to get some funding for it. I posted a link for it in my YouTube thing. I'll put it up in the space. He's driving right now, so if he comes through and his internet's spotty, he'll get back to us. But whenever he gets to a good spot, he's gonna talk about that.
Nice. Sounds interesting, for sure.
Yeah, the old fishing line and water trick. I think it is. All right.
No, I think I'm good. All my stuff's here. My echoing or anything? Is my phone mic fucking show up?
No, you're solid.
Yeah, sounds good.
Excellent. All right. Excellent. Do we have a topic? Probably not.
No set topic. No.
I guess flat Earth is the topic, right?
But we could talk a little bit about the 6210 thing, right? I think that can't be under talked about enough.
Sure. I did.
So I was thinking about this earlier. I thought that the 6210 was a result of the AE map. Like when you take the longitude lines and make them straight, you get 6210. Does that have anything to do with it? Am I on the right track, or am I?
No, it's all about pi.
Huh?
The 6210, as far as I see from your diagramming, is all about pi.
Go on. I'm confused.
Well, your R is 3959, right? And you're applying that to reach the 6210 as a quarter of the total circumference, right?
Right. There you go. All about pi. I was like, it's not what I was thinking, but it might be correct. Yeah, no, that is how you.
So is it much easier than I'm thinking it is? Then
so
it's really just
far
the radius
more simple analysis than you're expecting, I think.
Yes. Okay. So the 3959 is the radius of the 6210. Is that what you're saying?
Which is a quarter of the circumference, yes.
Which is a quarter of the circumference.
So, yeah, you're taking the outside of the sphere from the equator up to the pole. That's 6210.
Yep.
Outside of the sphere to the equator. So
pretend you're on the surface of the Earth and you're walking from the equator at the prime meridian to the North Pole. That'll be 6210.
Okay, perfect.
That's a quarter of the total circumference, right?
Yes. Okay. Well, that's way easier than I. Wow. Okay.
See, that's what happens when Shane presents, as opposed to when I present.
Jesus.
There's your ultimate burn for the night, right there, boys. I thought I'd stick it in there early.
Dude, I mean, I already realized that I don't have the ability to break things down to a very simple thing. It's like, no, I'm gonna make it. Here's what I can do. I can make it more complicated, or
I can use 65.
I don't know about that.
Dude, thank you, Stone. Much appreciated. So it's all about pi.
My absolute pleasure.
What I was going to say is it's 6210 in both models, like the same segment we're comparing.
Nah, you already lost me.
It's curved in one.
Means nothing. We're solid. You fucking gay, dude. Why can't you do what Stone did? Just do what Stone did.
Dude, I didn't even think about it like that. How could I explain to you from a perspective that I hadn't actually considered yet? I was like, what do you mean pi? I don't understand. That is the way to do it, right? Yeah, did you guys enjoy that quibbling with Ruhip over that for like 8 minutes? He was like, gotcha, bitch. I was like, nah, prefab determined animation with that already included, bro. What do you mean?
I'll be back in a sec, guys.
Nice. I thought I gave.
Dude, there was an audio mishap on my stream, so nobody could hear anything that you guys said. But now they can. I fixed it. So
An
that's
audio
super
no.
mishap,
unfortunate.
like you muted
Yeah.
your desktop audio.
Oh, no.
Yes. But we're gonna go ahead and fix that. So anyway,
On the
yeah, what we were talking about was from Shane's debate the other day with Ruhif when they were getting to the 6210, the end of your field of vision. Like, is it 3959 or is it 6210? And the answer is it's 6210, and the radius of that is, or a quarter of that is, the radius, which is 3959, and that's literally it. That's man. Thank you, Stone.
Damn, have you explain it now? Well, Alan, because Stone's not here, right? So Alan will be explaining it from now on.
Yeah, dude. Oh man. All right. So Toby, what have you been up to this week, bro? We haven't talked much, man.
Oh, I've just been. Oh, whoops.
Wait, is that a Toby doppelganger down there? What's
Yeah,
going on?
do we want him to speak is the question? I don't know who that is, but I love the effort.
Oh, I think they're good. I think they're golden.
All right.
They're just the triggered version of me. Beware.
Well, all right. I kind of want to talk to Trigger Toby.
It is not me. I am not associated with the account, but
Is that
clearly that's a different version of me with different eyes. So
That's
I
dark
wouldn't worry
matter,
too much
Toby.
about it.
It's like somebody predicted something about Toby, and they were like, "Nah, it's not wrong. It's a little bit of dark Toby. Here, you're missing it. Here's what it is."
Yep.
Verified, no less. Went through the added effort. You got to. It's a compliment, Toby.
No, yeah, I'm not. I don't hate it. Oh, look, Triggered Toby is requested.
All right, Trigger Toby.
Yo, Aaron, if you're available to speak, I sent you a microphone request if you're able to get to it. But if not, don't worry about it, bro.
Yeah, this is not Toby. I'm not in any way associated or affiliated with Toby. I just like it when Toby gets triggered and has to make response videos to stupid German bitches.
See, there you
Okay,
go.
fair enough. Welcome to the party.
That's what's up, dude.
Yeah, just Aether
Nice.
Cosmology kind of lurker, just here taking notes and enjoying the space.
Nice. See, I'm glad we didn't automatically assume you were a dick. That would have been a bad judgment.
I will say this: Trigger Toby is my favorite Toby because it's about to pop off when he gets going. Like it's a wrap, and
Oh, he's so articulate and fiery. It's fantastic. It's my favorite version of Toby.
Yeah,
he gets more articulate the madder he gets.
my favorite
It's
part is
always-
knowing.
The most triggered is when you catch me in the middle of the day, like someone will like send me a message like, "Oh, this person said X, Y, or Z stupid thing," and I'm like in the middle of doing something else. I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" And I go and sit down at my computer to like jump into the conversation, and then it's like even more stupid than I thought, and then I just get triggered because I like took time out of my day to go listen to some stupid like total misunderstanding, someone straw manning something, or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of you guys suffer fools pretty generously, but when you run out of patience,
That's
it's
a good point.
It's a marvelous thing. So, yeah, not affiliated with Toby in any way. But anyway, guys, enjoying the space. I'm gonna pop off now. My real name is Dan.
Word.
If you want to call me Dan.
All right,
Welcome, Dan.
Welcome, Dan. Yeah. I like
Well-
Trigger Toby because like you get that feeling that he's triggered, but before he blows up, and it's gonna come, like it's inevitable, like a freight train on the track, like you can feel it rumbling, and there's not a thing in the world that you can do to stop it. So you just get out of the way and let it roll, and you're like, "Yep, there it goes."
Once the
Just
keys in
get
the
out of
ignition,
the way.
there's nothing you can do. Speaking of keys and ignitions, did you guys know that if you go to brushtail.coffee and order some coffee, you can't use it as gasoline in your car per se, but if you think of your body as a car, you can use it to fuel your body. So
It's true. You head on over to brushtail.coffee. I make my own fuel for your body, I suppose. And that you can find at brushtail.coffee, brushtailcoffee.com. Do subscriptions. A lot of the coffee is organic, not all of it, but it's all high quality from good providers. And if you have any questions about any of it, you can shoot me a message. Be roasting tomorrow, actually. And we're proudly back to providing coffee to the mayor's office. So there you go.
Dude, supply to the mayor's office, dude. If you go to the mayor and you're like, "Hey, do you got a coffee guy?" The answer is yes. It's Toby.
Dude, I like how mic requests seem to be working, and I can actually do things. And that we have a purple pill, I think. This is all nice.
Oh, I don't see a purple pill. Is that the heart? No, that's emotes. Dang it.
Oh, we don't have one. Dude, is this the first time I made it that it didn't have one? So I made it on not the phone.
I mean, it seems to have. Oh wait, I guess I did make it from my phone as Aether Cosmology when we had Purple Pill.
Yeah, I tried this week for the first time to not make it from the phone. It was the first time I saw we could. And now this happened. So I'm going to equate that to this.
That's unfortunate.
Where's our boy Nick Cage?
Probably over at Sacred's stream.
I don't know. That boy likes to talk, though. He's not really a super good long-time listener.
Well, who knows?
Hey, Shane, first off, I wanted to congrats you on a job well done on the debate with Ruhif. Went pretty well. Well, I did have a question, though. He brought up the Rayleigh criterion, which you even said, hey, that's actually a very good description of the Rayleigh criteria. I didn't understand his angle of bringing in the debate to try to undermine anything. You want to kind of maybe explain what he was trying to do and how that didn't work?
Yeah, well, he didn't do anything wrong, right? I had a slide on Rayleigh. He had a slide. When he did his, I just put mine away. I was like, oh, that's excellent description. But he was anticipating that I was going to try and do something with it, which we already did, right? So he was trying to stop the inevitable. I think it was weird, and he's like, "I'm gonna just get out and say it," and he's like, "All right, like I'll let you do that." And he's like, "It's most commonly used for just like finding these galaxies and differentiating." And I was like, "Dude, you can even say that. That's fine. Nobody listening will be deterred from what we're going to be using it for, specifically with the human eye, right? I mean, I don't know." He did a good job explaining that it's not just for the human eye, right? It's all telescopes and apertures, and it does both things for distinguishing two from one and one from none, essentially. So, yeah, I think he was just worried. Because he didn't really discredit anything, right? He just did a good job explaining relays, and then we moved on to use that as a platform. So I don't know.
G'day, guys. How you going?
Good eye.
Hey, man.
G'day from down under. That cracks me up every time I say it. But I said that for years, meeting people from overseas, and it's only since I was awakened to the true nature of where we live that I understand that's just psyop language,
Nice.
Yeah, it's that psyop cultural greeting, dude. You're greeting us from the bottom of the globe.
Down under.
What's up from my anti brethren?
But hey, I want to thank you guys for all your hard work. Seriously, it's amazing. And, I share, and especially Aether Cosmology, to some of my friends that, they want sort of the higher end stuff, but really they have an inability and unwillingness to look deeper. I think it's really confronting. But yeah, look, that work is so good. It's so valuable. And thank you so much. I'm learning so much. I'm very grateful. And just quickly before I get back into class, because I've got a class to attend, I just wanted to touch base on Fly Me to the Moon, because I heard in the traps that there was going to be some kind of QR code with a link to maybe, I think it's Dave's clock app. But if that's the case, if it is Dave's clock app, has anyone had any discussions with him around making that free for at least like the first 2 weeks or something? I mean, because that would be doing God's work to make, a financial sacrifice like that because I've got friends. We would do massive drops here in Melbourne. I live in Melbourne. It's a big like art city. So I mean, people would absolutely download that if it were free. I was just wondering if that has come up at any point or anyone's spoken to him.
No, that's a good idea though. Do some promo stuff for that.
I know every time I've ever had Dave on a show before I was doing Aether Cos stuff, I always ended up with like 2 free codes for the app. So like he definitely gives it out freely. I think if you just, especially if there's an event, maybe he might be down.
Send them an email. Like the boys down under need some codes.
Well, yeah, I think if just universally, if he made that app free for like at least the first week, I understand the man's going to make $1, but I think like to do a financial sacrifice, like I'm a spiritual person, I believe like if we give things and we constantly give back, then that's how we stay well in this satanic shithole usury fake fiat system. But like, so something like that would go so far, it would be exponential. People could download the app and then have it. And that would really push this movement to the next level, I think. Like if there was a synchronized sort of flyer drop with a QR code on that day, like if people would just tag in the bathrooms with a QR code, I don't know, and then handing out flyers with a QR code with a free link. Otherwise, I was thinking of making one myself. And I guess like if Dave wasn't willing to do that, what would be the best site to put on it as a QR code for people to go to?
That would be CIA.gov.
I heard the flatearthjew.com is what he prefers.
But in all seriousness, like, is that something you guys could talk about and maybe look into if you haven't already?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send him a DM about a trial or whatever. I'm surprised he doesn't already have that. Actually, most apps do that. So,
but the Flat Earth Jew is also just a redirect for flatearthdave.com, which is a great resource. And if you end up doing some things there, it will get you to the right spot. So.
Well, hey, legends, I've got to touch off, but yeah, cheers. Thank you so much. Thoroughly enjoying the work, and yeah, man, you're doing God's, the Creator's work. So it's amazing, man. And what we got to do too is like when talking, it's brutal. I know that we just cop so much abuse from people that are fully indoctrinated. But I think to have patience, tolerance, love, and kindness, although it's so difficult, I get it. But pause when agitated, and we must show love to these people because we got to, we'll catch more flies with honey with this thing. I think that's the thing that I notice in debates, and that Austin's come a long way over the years in that. He's really, and like I've let him know like how much I have seen him grow. I really think it's amazing. So I guess for everyone debating, and yeah, it's hard. Like we can't, of course, like Mattoon, that's a joke. There needs to be a bit of shame there, but otherwise, like I think if we have that approach of patience, love, tolerance, kindness, and forgiveness for these people, we'll get a lot further with this movement.
Hell yeah, brother. Thanks for all the compliments and excellent contribution. Also, I think we agree with everything you said.
Yeah, man. Melbourne, hey. I did like your zoo.
There's a couple, man. There's a couple, yeah. Yeah. Well, look,
but the
I
elephants just weren't up for doing any tricks. That was a little anticlimactic. But the rest of the zoo is nice. I like your big kitties.
Dude, we're all about ruse down here, man. It's like koalas.
Ruse.
Ever seen a baby roo?
But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks very much.
Right on, man.
Later, G.
Did everyone just picture just an adult Ruhif but tiny hopping along with feet, or was that just me, little baby Ruhif?
Oh,
I imagine Ruhif in a kangaroo pouch getting getting hopped. Yo, Aaron, what's up, brother?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks for having me on. I want to say, yeah, you guys do great work, and I love listening to you. You, Shane, Toby, and Stone. I just learned about you. You do great work too. Thanks.
Many thanks.
Sure does.
So, coming from the land of the North, Canada.
Long ago, sure enough.
Yeah, I got an idea. It's not an original one. I gotta say, it actually come from a Glober. So his name's Jesse. You probably know him, Jesse Patholite.
Oh
Yeah,
no! I mean,
I
sure.
heard about him and Kevin Samuel getting together to do that bit with the wire. But
So
that's
yeah,
really
that's the same thing, same idea. I wanted to do a different kind of observation, but I think a measurement will suffice. So the idea is get 4 miles of rope, neutrally buoyant rope, and we have some big lakes here that are really nice and calm. It's standing water, so the water level is pretty much the same all year round, depending on the rain, right? So we pull that sucker tight, and this rope's good up to 3,000 pounds, and I'm pretty sure we can pull it tight, being neutrally buoyant, no currents, no other forces on the rope. We should be able to pull it nice and straight, and then measure to see if there's any curve. I don't think there is any. There's supposed to be like 2.67 feet of curve in the middle of the Sajita, and yeah, that's kind of the idea. I was gonna get this rope and do it this summer, and
Nice.
yeah, I have a fundraiser started, but it's not going so well, so that's why I'm here. I think somebody donated $20. I really want to thank them for donating the $20. It's gonna help. Yeah.
So can you help me out with this experiment a bit? I've been watching you guys from afar and paying very little attention because of some other factors I don't talk about. But I'm curious in their example, if you know about it, and your example, if you've designed it to this point, what's the mechanism that's doing the tightening?
It's come along.
Pardon?
It's like a vehicle recovery tool, so come along.
I think you're going to have to be a little more explicit than that.
Is that like a tote?
So if you have a tow rope and you have something, it's like a winch recovery tool, but it's like you can use your hand to just winch it up, right? So
A winch. Okay, what's that winch mounted on?
it's mounted to an earth stake. So a stake in the ground. It's
So you're on the
about
shore with
six
it.
feet. Yep, in the shore. It's about 6 feet into the ground.
Okay, that's one of
Secured.
them.
And then the other side is secured with another stake. So they're good up to like 5,000 pounds of towing, pulling force.
So you're going shore to shore here.
Right, shore to shore.
Better. Okay, great.
The rope is underwater. It's going to be underwater about a foot, just so we have that. If it breaks, it's not going to do anything crazy. We'll probably do it at two different levels, so 1 foot and 2 foot, and then I would like to do it even longer. Like do 6 miles. If the 4 mile works out, then we'll buy more rope and do it again at 6 miles. It's just so we can keep doing it and make it sure, right?
What are you going to do about traffic?
So we have just around Prince George in British Columbia, we have 1,000 lakes within arm's reach, and they're all big, nearly big enough to do this. On a Sunday morning when most people are in church, would be a good time to do it. Anytime during the week, these lakes are usually pretty quiet. Like anywhere during the week, there's not a lot of traffic. There's so many lakes that just boats can't hit them all. So, sorry, I'm a little sick right now.
Okay, well, I'm just thinking it's going to take a little bit of coordination and more people than you might originally envision in your team, just to keep it to the point where cops aren't going to get pissed off and civilians aren't going to be, in your way.
Yeah, so I don't know if you've ever been to Canada, but there's one cop for each town.
Dude, I grew up
So
in Vancouver.
yeah, it's a big country. There's not a lot of cops, and people are pretty friendly up here. So we're not gonna bug anybody. We're gonna make sure we're doing it right. We're gonna do it safely. I got my boater's license. We're gonna have a boat out there. We're gonna have buoys attached just until the measurement's taken place, and just markers all along. It'll be safe. It's not going to be it's not going to be a complete gong show.
Have you considered going to City Hall for a permit? You might actually get cops' help on it if you do it right.
Yeah, I was even thinking about getting the news there. Maybe see if I can get some news to come see and see what we're doing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be that big of a deal, to be honest with you, to ask for permission, but I mean, it is a thought for sure. It wouldn't be even bad. It wouldn't be a bad thing anyways. I totally take that. I'll take that advice for sure.
Yeah, right on.
I don't really know what else to say about it other than it's pretty self-explanatory. You pull a rope straight across the lake and then measure to the surface, and then there's a prediction on the globe side, and I think we all know how it'll go anyways.
Nice, man. Well, thanks for coming on to tell us about that. Appreciate it. Had some people asking about it.
Right on, yeah. And just like you putting that on your YouTube, immediately got that $20. I'm stoked about it.
Nice,
I mean, if
dude.
it comes down to it, I'm just gonna throw it on the Visa, and I don't want to do that, but if it comes down to it, it's gonna happen. The main thing is they're going to Antarctica to look at the sky. It just doesn't logically make any sense to me. If you want to know if the ground is curving, why not just measure it?
No, well, see, that's because you're a silly flirt. To measure the ground, what you do is you look directly at the sun. That's it. Hold on.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, I was laughing on mute. It's the most retarded thing. And it's like, the more you dig, it's like, yeah, so the steps, ready, is, okay, look straight up, you're all done. You measure the ground. Wait, what? Yep, nope, that's the process. That's how we do it. That's how it's always been done. Boy, step up and get along. Come on.
Yo, Shane, I don't know if you remember Aaron, but this is the guy that gave me that book, the explanatory supplement to the ephemeris and all that, with all those, basically explaining how they went around and made those correction angles, but then didn't tell anyone how they actually derived them.
The dude who cracked geodesic surveying from afar by supplying the
Yep.
correct. Oh. Wow.
Yep.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you.
I was no. I don't know if I did anything, but no, it's been a journey for sure.
Dude, you
It's
were
interesting.
That's
you were
integral.
fundamental in it, and every time Shane brings up the fundamental plane, or the otherwise known as the Great Meridian that intersects the celestial sphere at the
Wow.
equator. So anyway, every time he brings that up, I think of you. I'm like, fundamental plane, my boy Aaron.
Dude's
Well,
nice.
the most interesting thing I learned about that in taking the geodetic surveying classes is when they do the ground measurement and go to grid, it comes out to like a 1-to-1 ratio. So they say, oh, you have to take the globe and wrap it on paper, right? And well, what's really happening is it's a 1-to-1 measurement. So they take the heights of the ellipsoid and transform them by multiplying it by 0.99, the measurement by 0.999997. It's just, how do you justify, that being the globe? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, you see, if you have a geographic graticule datum that is spherical, then it doesn't matter what you say, I win every time.
Right. As long as everybody else thinks it's a globe, right?
Yeah, dude, like, that's so funny. It's so funny to be able to break it down to a point to people who understand projected coordinate systems and datums and, Clark ellipsoid models, to be able to be like, oh, well, what you're doing there, Chief, is starting sphere, calculating sphere, and ending sphericity. So. That's almost as dumb as, hey, here's how we measure the ground, right? We're gonna look directly up. All right, look at the sun, take the shit. All right, done. We measure the ground. I'm done.
And if your ground measurements don't line up, Stone, what do you do with that vertical?
We deflect as we please.
See, we wouldn't be able to put all that together. That's like such a crucial part of it. It's like, you know how it doesn't line up? That's geo-equipotential, gravitational potential over there on pulling that mountain, tugging on my plumb bob, Jim. That's what that is.
That's what the Royals paid for.
Deflect that vertical over there. Okay. Increase the geopotential, gravitational, perpendicular relationship. Yeah, we're good.
Dude, that's so cool that they mapped out the gravitational potential of the geoid by assuming the correctness of it through deviations of the celestial sphere.
We mapped it by assuming the correctness of it. That's so funny.
That's so cool.
We frequently prove
Talking-
things by assuming their correctness.
So the gravitational potential, right? That's the other thing I was wanting to get into, or what the observation I wanted to do. It had to do with that. So plumb lines should deviate on a globe. So if you had a stake in the ground and you leveled it, and then you measured off that level over on the top and bottom of the stake over 1,000 feet, or 2,000 feet, or 5,000 feet, whatever it is, and you take a sight and you sight up that, make sure the sight is perfectly level and perfectly straight up and down, say a 5,000 foot mountain, and you're able to line it up in your crosshairs to a stake on the top of the mountain. That shouldn't be possible. Like, if you were to measure over from that top stake on the mountain over to another stake and sight up to that one, it shouldn't be possible to do.
You're breaking up there, man.
Because it
Canada 80 words.
And the Canadian mountains got him.
Knew it.
Just a comment on what he was saying until he gets back.
You know,
Oh, I think he might be Luke.
Now just go through it. No one wants to hear this.
I,
It's gonna echo out for a while.
Well, a lot of people, a lot of Globers said that this is actually a test to prove diverging angles, and I'm asking, well, when he gets back, is he accounting for optical drop when he's doing these sights through his? I don't know if he's using a theodolite or auto level. How is he lining it up through the crosshairs, and how is he determining whether it's optical drop or is it something? I think he's coming back. Let's see what happens.
Nice, excellent, good contribution. Yeah, I think the string is supposed to be the physical part, right? We can measure it with a string, but if we're gonna measure that string optically, we're back to square one. But yeah, well, if we're just
Right,
optical
exactly.
drop,
We couldn't tell if it's divergent zenith angles or it's optical drop. They're just going to assume that the perspective change is Earth curve, like they always do. So I don't see how that test is going to prove one way or the other. But we'll see what he says. I put in the nest what Jesse Koslowski always talks about regarding that subject.
How did you reach the nest? Do we have a nest? What does that mean? Oh, I found it.
Yeah, dude. We don't have a nest or a jumbo or a purple pill, dog.
We do have a jumbo.
Nah.
What do you think jumbo is then? Hold on.
The jumbo is the thing that is the purple pill / nest.
Oh, well, we can still
we got a
share
jumbo.
things to the space, right? I thought that's what jumbo was then. So one of us was using it incorrectly, and it might have been me.
Well, some of us are still attached to the bird app, so the nest where the birds put their freaking.
Oh, that's where all the terminology comes from.
but some of us didn't migrate to the new terminology. The jumbo is up top, the stuff up top. The purple pill is the chat bubble that comes along with the space you open.
Ah, thanks, Ben. That's very clear.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
So, sometimes we don't prefer to learn things by fumbling around. You could just educate us, friends. You just stop the suffering and be like, "Hey, guys."
Dude, Speaking of friendly education, I think Stone is going to be hosting a workspace or workshop soon on Inkscape.
Yeah, in honor of Shane's style, I've put together 165 slides.
That's not going to be
Yeah.
enough. Dude.
So, actually, I was looking through my old work, stuff I did on Fiverr that I mentioned to you guys about almost a decade ago. Now I was doing work for people, just kind of knobbing for bucks. And yeah, I found a few pieces of work that are very demonstrative of what you use it for, the productive part. I find most of the time when I'm watching how-to videos for software, for anything, um, the hardest thing I find personally is after I see how to do something, I'm I'm usually at a loss for how it was actually going to relate to anything practical in my own world. That okay, he showed you how to say draw a box or draw a diamond or draw mitered corners or how to whatever to shade this or gradient that. And it's like, okay, great, but I don't have a project on the go right now that uses any of that. So I can't visualize its its use. And so none of the education sticks. You know what I mean? So the focus for me in the presentation is going to be on the practical, not just the theoretical and the tool and the how to do it. It's the why you would do it and where you would do it and what it looks like when you're doing it. Um, I think that's what we need to focus on. I think you guys are going to get a lot out of it, and it's by popular demand. It's not just going to be on Inkscape. I think I'm going to throw a little bit on VideoPad in there too. That's going to be
All
a
right.
basic video editing piece of software where you're really in control of the variables, the pixel count, the bit rate for both the audio and the video. And when we talk about the audio, it's the bit rate plus is it going to be mono or stereo, what's the source like, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There are more than half a dozen parameters, usually a few of which are missing from the software people are using day to day, and they see people manipulating video in other ways that are obviously not apparent in the software they're using. And I get questions all the time, hey, how'd you do that? What? Wait a minute. How did you make it only 22 meg? Mine's 2 gig. This kind of thing, right? And so I want to throw some video pad in there too. It's not an expensive piece of software, and if you really look, you can find a hacked version. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna put that in there too, and hopefully you guys will get a little more out of it.
Nice, dude. Thank
Dude,
you.
I'm excited for that. When is that going down? I'm going to be right in the audience taking notes.
Oh God knows. I think it's at least a week, guys. I have other things that are requisites, you might say, prerequisites to putting that presentation together. But I am grinding the axe. We're getting there.
Hell yeah. Now, just so I'm clear, is it because my animation sucks so tragically bad that you've decided to come out and teach the community how not to suck
Do
so
you
bad, or is
really
it?
want me to go into the reason? I think that's a little too painful. That's like bringing an old frat buddy from 40 years to the party, and that guy tells everybody you know now who the dweeb you used to be was in front of them all.
So
Completely
completely
destroy everything that you've done with these photos.
unrelated reasoning. Then got it. That's what I'm going to chalk it up mentally.
That'll probably feel good to do that. Yes.
I don't feel right.
Stone making content. It's a W no matter what, though.
I like to think so.
Yeah, it's the best gotcha weapons. If you're looking for something to hit him in the face with, just go to like the stone arsenal and grab a handful and you hurl it. Will.
Pick a formula, plug the numbers in, and squash them flat.
Nice. I tried to give out some mics. If they didn't go out or you guys are ignoring them or whatever, let me know. Or actually, I don't think you'd be able to if you didn't get them because you wouldn't know you didn't get them. But anyway, if you want a mic, do hand emojis.
think I just reset the window first time successfully.
Oh yeah, do a little surgery there.
Good.
Nice. Yeah, just don't accidentally close it because it'll just end the space abruptly.
Yeah, it's very trepidatious to do.
It's
Right
nerve
when we
wracking.
right when we started up this session, when I came in, I noticed Liliana was here, but she's not anymore. And I'm hoping it's not because I
Oh
scared
no.
her away.
Nah, she's not easily scared.
Well, I hope not. I hope it's not me. That's yeah.
Super echo for me.
But to fill you guys in on why, this was all about last session. Actually, she posted a 17-minute video of this interview of Frank Boyle talking about the BSL-4 labs and the biolab thing threat and the Ukraine thing and the war thing and the COVID thing and the vax thing and the Nazi Frankenshots thing, and it was all in there. And I was appointed fact checker at one point last week, so she figured she'd run it by me, and I said, okay, I'll hit you up on Telegram, and I'll send you a response. You know what I think of the video, and that came to over 1,200 words. So
Damn.
I may have freaked her the fuck out. I think that's the technical term by what all I typed, and hopefully didn't alienate her like I suspected I may do at the beginning of what I typed. Saying
Oh
generally
shoot.
that when I impart this much information about a topic like this one that she asked me about, I generally try to stagger or delay or lengthen the presentation time to weeks so that people can take a little bit of it in at a time and consider it and relate it to what they know already and what does this mean for the rest of the things, and then we explain another little piece and then it's like, okay, we can iterate that, and that's fucking weird, but okay, and you know what I mean. But when you hit them with 8 or 9 of them in the same post, I don't know, some people don't fare as well. And I'm hoping she was not as negatively affected as I am anticipating.
Nah,
But
she'll be
hey,
fine.
the truth is
Yeah,
the truth,
she's fine.
man. I
She's
don't know what to say.
if there's anyone else, but Laylee, she's tough. I think
Yeah, for sure.
you're probably marinating on it.
Dude, did you guys see that the FTFE came by and told me that my model disproves the globe and then left?
Never heard
Oh
of it.
yeah?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
Like I think yesterday, someone sent him like my pinned post, and he came by. He's like, "You stole that from Walter, and it debunks the globe." And then I just looked at it and was like, "I didn't mean to type that." I'm like, absolutely, that's not. So of course I screenshotted it and posted it immediately with little smiley faces.
Nice.
Like, yeah, it sure does, buddy. That was my response. It sure does.
So Michael Brenner brought up a new term, geostatus, which is different from geocentrist, I believe, right? I
But
thought.
Shane isn't a geostatus. What are you, Shane?
Did Brenner brought that up? You said?
No,
No,
Bennett.
Bennett. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was excited.
Oh, Bennett, not Brenner. Gotcha. Okay.
Right. I messed that up. I got a dyslexic. But I thought once that he was railing against Copernican models. Maybe I got that mistaken. Anybody refine like what that means? I'm guessing he doesn't necessarily assume that's a centered Earth, but it's not moving. If I got that correct, maybe you could correct me if I got that right.
No one can prove Earth's motionists.
Yeah, just a more refined version with like less logical assumptions is just saying I can only prove that the Earth isn't in motion with respect to the universe. But if we're in the center of the universe, like who knows, right?
I think it might also be a bit of a philosophical position of like we are not like in the center of existence per se, you know, like some
Yeah.
people would say the revolution is around something else particularly, or God or something, or I have a feeling that he has a slight philosophical bent there with not wanting to specifically say geocentric, but I don't want to speak for him too much either.
Yeah, dude, what he said exactly was like, you can't prove it's motion, and from that point, you guys make this leap that you're at the center. And then I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, we do. And then I heard Witt's debate, and he like in the spiel, he immediately says the connecting phrase that we are then in the center, and I was like, okay, all right, I'm following what Bennett's putting down. His whole thing is following the scientific method and to not just make these logical like just leaps. So he's like, logically, you'd have to go to the extremities of the either side to make sure you're in the center. And I went, yeah, that's not
Yeah,
wrong.
I was loving that space, man. I love thinkers, man. You got you thinking a lot about just refining some of the stuff that we talk about. So yeah, man, I hope he does more of those.
Oh yeah, he's always. I think that's why he like stays around with us, because he's like a place that I can respectfully put in my ideas and get comments from people who are interested and able to understand it, which I don't think he gets in the mainstream anywhere. Yeah, but we love Dr. Bennett. Cassander, a boy.
Stander.
If I were to mock FDFE at this moment, I would definitely pick this post, Shane. It's the grand opportunity.
Right? That's why I screenshotted it.
No, it's the one after it, the one he did 6 hours ago.
Oh.
It says, there is no errors in Bislin's idea. It's like, oh, buddy, there are no errors. You're from Britain. You guys made this fucking language and you can't speak it.
Yeah.
Has bought some batteries. You know what I mean? Like, ow, stop hurting my brain, you asshole.
I mean, getting him on diction isn't really going to do anything. People are like, he doesn't have to be able to speak for me to follow his dumb wittery across the internet.
This guy, he's a physicist. He was in the military, but he can't make a sentence. It's like, so hard, so hard.
Yeah, he got the call too. The call, hey, they're making me uncomfortable with my cognitive dissonance. Can you come in with your big daddy and just make it feel better again? Betterer, thank you. That means we have Cassandra Part 2 next week, right? Tuesday. So that'll be sweet. I hope you guys.
Cassander Tuesdays, I think we're going to call it.
It's almost like a 2-for-1 deal.
Oh man, I got tricked into reading The Flurf Herder. That's my bad.
Oh yeah, how'd that go for you?
I just wasted 40 seconds. Can't get it
Nice.
back. That's on me.
Yeah, it's unlucky. Read one earlier too.
I can hear you contemplatively scratching your beard, questioning your decision as well.
Dude, that's hilarious. I was too. I was like, why did I do that? It was pointless. Although, yeah. It's like it just.
It's like, why do I do those things? I don't know.
Draws you in. Yeah.
You need a shock bracelet on your mousing wrist.
No, bad. Click away. Yeah.
It detects flirfdom and delivers you with 9.8 watts per second.
There you go. Get away. Stop clicking on that. Dude. Good. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Gregory Rush has been spurging out lately on like 15 non-responded posts back to back. Like he doesn't even care if somebody says anything, dude. That dude's been spurging out lately.
Who's that?
I don't know who that is.
Gregory Rush, the guy who's famous for doing fingertip push-ups. He'll tell you about it if he hasn't.
Never met him.
That guy is fun, man. That guy is literally like, I shouldn't say fun. It's actually really sad. I don't know. I think the dude's got a screw loose somewhere. He's spends a lot of time talking to himself on Twitter.
That's what's up. Just chilling with yourself.
He'll comment with like some like kind of insulting response, and then he'll comment again like that wasn't insulting enough and he needs to redo it, so he'll like say the same thing but slightly different, and then he'll comment to that, and then he'll wait, and finally when you respond, like Xavier said, he'll comment again, like he'll do like 3 more comments, and if you talk about your muscles or anything like that, he's ready to fight, man. He wants to tell you about his 3-finger push-ups that he invented, and you should look out. And he won second place in a Taekwondo contest in 2004. So there you go.
Oh,
So
nice.
there were 2 participants in that contest?
Hey, that's what's
Possibly.
up, dude. Don't take his W, Stone.
He will
Dude was out
definitely
there
post a picture
grinding.
of the trophy for you, and it definitely
It's
says
one of
second
those.
place in 2004.
It's one of those everybody gets a trophy meets.
I like to think that he overcame a lot of hurdles to get that trophy, and it was a big personal triumph for him, and he grew as a person from that. And when he shares his story on Twitter, he's trying to relate that experience, that hero's journey of overcoming something difficult in your life and sharing that with others. I think he's very inspirational.
So then does that, well, I think according to him then, that makes the Earth a globe.
Well, he does have some philosophical bias, but when you're the kind of person that does 3-finger push-ups, I mean, you can kind of do whatever you want, dog. You're strong as fuck. Who's gonna
Exactly.
how am I gonna stop a man who can do a 3-finger push-up, dog, with my ideas? No. That dude will just flick him away.
There you go. Earth's a ball.
Seriously, no hands up in that crowd? What's going on?
None that I can see.
Quiet night tonight. We might want to just wrap it up a little early. It's kind of everyone's just kind of chilling. I think a lot of people are probably chilling with Secret and Proud.
Well, dude, I'm glad that I learned the 6210 thing. That's huge. Because every time I talked to Shane about it, it got more and more confusing. And I thought I originally had a good understanding of it. And then Stone was like, no, it was the original thing. That's crazy. So overall, a very successful space, I would say.
Yeah, I'd call it a plus.
That's mass. Yeah, that's always a big win.
Yo,
I got to
Dr.
meet the triggered version of myself. That was a big win.
Yeah, that dude's awesome. All right, so we got someone from YouTube chat who's going to come in, Dr. Bass Ackwards. He's been around the channel for a long time. One of the OGs. Constantly gets banned on YouTube, so he's probably doing something right, as Shane would say.
Intriguing.
Yeah, he has a guitar and he sings about Jews. So,
Well,
I don't know if that's what he sings about, but he does make music, so you can check out his YouTube channel. I'll put it in the thingy.
yeah, life's better with a thingy.
Yeah, the jumbo and or purple pill and or nest. YouTube channel as I wipe my ass with YouTube channels. So you can check them out there.
Wow. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. That's yeah, interesting. Props for getting back on there and getting at it again.
Dude, it's just like riding a bike or whatever. I think that's what they say. So yeah, he's gonna come through and then we'll wrap it up, B.
Well, he does have a 53-minute video there where he's dealing with Don Pennant, talking about destroying the technology. He just put that up 5 days ago. Well, lots of these, but yeah, man, that's interesting. He's got one up right now that's live. You guys see that?
Nope.
I mean, there's only one person watching it, but he's got it up. Ah, he wrapped that up 3 hours ago. All caught up.
All right. Yeah, if he doesn't show up in like the next 20, 30 seconds though, we'll just wrap it up.
Okay. Or if anyone else has any thoughts or questions or anything they want to talk about, we don't have to wrap it up, but it does just seem to be a pretty chill, quiet night, so we might as well. Don't you all just jump in on it at once now?
I'm just checking out some of his live here while people are thinking.
Nice. Let's see. There's a question in YouTube chat. Oh. Do you guys think this Antarctica trip will work? I don't trust Duffy. Thoughts? Real quick on that. I don't trust Duffy at all, and I have a few reasons for that. I think people need to do some proper investigation into that guy, and yeah, I think I don't know what's going on. There's something fishy there, and I'm glad that Witsit and Jaren are like talking about trying to go. I think it's the proper thing to do because they're really just trying to like we need to call their bluff. They're trying to call our bluff. And like but the thing is like I think this guy I think he's a scammer of some kind. And I don't know who he's trying to scam here, but he's trying to scam someone. And so it's just I want to make sure no one loses any money here. And that people don't get strung along to do, buying into something that's not what it seems to be. So the guy has been already shown to be dishonest multiple times, and so there's really no reason that we should continue to trust him. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Well, safety too, right? someone's not going to be this adamant unless they have something up their sleeve. I think he's been caught lying a few times where he said he didn't tell anybody about it, but then he told his dad, and that doesn't count as not telling anybody because that's your family or such. It's a lot of back and forth with that dude. So he already came off as dishonest. And if he claimed to be a holy man, which I believe that's part of his repertoire, it's not coming off. It's not coming off with integrity.
Yep.
From
And one other question someone you might just want to ask yourself is, where did this guy get his money in the first place? How does he have the money to fly these flat earthers to Antarctica? Obviously, that's not something that most people have. Why is he so interested in it? Where did it come from? Et cetera, et cetera. I think those are fair questions to ask at this point.
Yeah, Level Earth Observer put out a video the other day saying that he was a billionaire, actually. So
Yeah,
now it gets even weirder.
it gets weird. So yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
If only he had provided some documentation to back up that assertion, I'd be more.
That would have
adherent.
been that would have been great too.
Yeah, and the scammers or whoever he is, whatever. A lot of times, it's in their best interest to appear a lot more rich than they really are. So I don't know, but I know the guy
Oh,
is at least
sorry.
involved with some investments. Put it that way.
Yeah, Flat Earth Banjo put out a video recently, I guess, and it was basically they just recently did this whole op in Brazil where they were offering to take or give live feed footage or something to Brazilians, and they were like, well, why don't you just, like, we don't need to take a plane trip, why don't you just give us footage right now? And they were like, oh, we can't, and then they just all backed out and shut up about it. So yeah, we'll have to check that out. That's from Flat Earth Banjo's channel on YouTube.
Yeah,
So yeah, they literally just ran this op, and then it's like, oh, insert Phil Duffy in a new place, like insert this guy, just comes out of nowhere. But yeah, it's interesting to see what'll happen. And I think Stone put forward a really good critique of what they could possibly do and how they could fake it with the elevation of the observation site and then the relative terrain around them being like, mountainscape and stuff. That would be where you could, do a quote unquote 24-hour sun and fake it where it would be less obvious, you know what I mean? Because if it's just a plain area where you can see around you with nothing, like that would be hard for them to do something.
Except that I did connect with Jaron last night for the first time, and it was amicable. I was quite surprised. Very nice.
Awesome. Yeah.
So yes, we talked for about 90 minutes or so, and he revised the proposed camp location. It's not the pin that he placed 2 weeks ago during the stream when he was talking to Duffy. It's about 18 minutes in or something of that whole 2 hours they were talking. And it turns out it's actually a little further south, about 65 miles further south, and up out of that valley where that first pin was placed. It's at the Union Glacier Station, and that is up closer to the top and does have better visibility. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about that point anymore. That's it's looking quite different from the analysis that I showed you.
Dude, that's awesome. So glad to
Yeah.
hear that.
Yeah.
That's so cool, man. Yeah, stuff like that and having good input for where they should do the obs and stuff is going to be like the deal breaker here, where we're going to see this thing fall apart for it to be an op, I think. Because otherwise, if they can get it where it would be favorable, like they obviously have something planned. If they just did this in Brazil, like this is obviously for a reason, right? Like this guy, anyway, that's my thoughts on it. But
let me get the silly thoughts out. Right?
Dude, they're always trying to sell you something, right? This is just like a sales attempt, right?
Yeah. What if he's like just trying to call your bluff and just put up all these stipulations and you don't go, and then not have carte blanche to fake it however they want to fake it. So this guy gives me scammer vibes, but maybe he is backed up with somebody huge and maybe even governmental. We just got to consider, hey, what are the skies looking like? I don't want no Project Bluebeam nonsense. No, what is that, China artificial sun? I even want to question the orientation. Make sure they have mechanical devices to know your orientation, that you're not being flown up to the North Pole. I'm talking go overboard with scrutinization with some of this stuff, man, because I don't trust them worth of nothing.
Oh yeah, and thermal cameras and stuff. That's why it's like, yeah, they could try and maybe fake a sun. There was a little bit of like theories about that and stuff, but it's like no, like we're sending our boys, like we're sending proper instrumentation. They're not going to be able to just easily fake a fake sun or whatever. So if it comes down to we're actually sending, it's a go, then yeah, we're getting everyone all hands on deck, and we're gonna have the proper instruments sent down. We're gonna make sure we can, they can't pull anything over on us. We've got Stone, me, Shane, Allen, Piezo, you. Like we've got a lot of us here, Riggs. Like we've all got a lot of thoughts on this, and we're gonna make sure it gets done right if it happens. But yeah, I mean, even if it just ends up flopping and it makes the globe look bad, like this dude, no one knew who he was 2 months ago. Now everyone does. So that alone has some kind of value to it. Who knows what this guy is planning? So I'm just going to keep my eye on him and just kind of, keep monitoring the situation essentially.
Out of the other things that you mentioned, I'm going to knock one off the list for you, and that's they could fly them to the north without their knowing. The final flight that they're all going to be taking is coming from the south tip of Chile, Punta Arenas, and it's a lake town, and that's going to be probably like a 2-hour flight. So unless they're going to secretly pipe in a military jet capability kind of thing and paint it like a civilian jet, and it can do Mach 7, pretty sure they're just going to be going south.
Cool. I love playing bouncing this stuff ideas off each other, because you never know, right? So cool.
No, for sure. You got to, all the options have to be on the table. You just have to objectively knock them off when they need to be.
Final experiment. It is such a terrible
Oh, we're
name.
talking about Antarctica again.
The word is pretentious.
Yes, it is a pretentious name. You're right.
You know what the final experiment will truly be is when we stop giving air and life and breath to the anti-fighters, people who like cling to energy and just like quote mine to get all of our stuff so they can have engagement and relevance and popularity. And if we just stop that, the real experiment will be how long until they just die.
No, they don't even. I mean, they need us, but they wouldn't die because they'd still keep leeching. even
Well,
without
see,
us.
they need us because no one would ever stop. Aaron, you're killing me. No one would ever stop giving. Like, if everybody stopped giving them energy, then they would die. But there's always going to be one person, like in the comments in the back.
Well, they'll always get their anti-flat earthers too.
Yeah, but like if none of the flat earthers like sparred with the anti-flat earthers wouldn't be a thing.
I used to think they wanted the best out of the flat earthers, who were the most knowledgeable, to knock it down, but they don't even care. They just want anyone to make it look silly. So it's a numbers game for them. They don't even care about quality.
No, of course not, dude. Matter of fact, they prefer to punch down, right, all the time. And McToon found me for our first engagement on a video that I had just published on my 42nd YouTube channel, which had a grand total of 3 views. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna debate this guy. That was his whole mentality. And I was like, yeah, I'll debate you. I don't give a shit, right? Like, so
So that's why I'm making this measurement, right? We got 3 people around the world doing it. If it does come up that the measurement proves it's flat, I mean, how are you going to understand how the sky works? Right? Say there is a 24-hour sun, will you understand how the sky works? That's my question to everybody, globers and flat earthers, right? If the Earth is measured flat, would you even start to understand how the sky works? That's just a question. Anyways.
I mean, we can, it's all just observations, so we can continue to make the observations don't change, right? Like we can continue to make observations and, rethinking astronomy is a whole, can of worms that I don't think is necessarily too important, honestly. We don't, we it's just guesses. It's just we can't make assertions about those things out there. We could theorize all day and night, and it might be entertaining for some of us to do, and maybe even fruitful in some way, shape, or form. But honestly, ultimately, at the end of the day, we're really just wasting time. Just it's as far as guessing what's out there. So, the observations are awesome, and I think we should continue that. But yeah, just as far as asserting what those things are, the sky is, without actual concrete measurements, going up there and taking a cup of the sky medium or whatever, it's hard to say much, in my opinion.
And Bass has entered the room.
Awesome.
You'll see him down at the bottom there, Forest Ray.
Do my actions still matter? Let's see. Did he just become a speaker to you guys?
That's a deep question.
Do my Twitter action spaces matter? Do I matter, guys? Am I real?
Ask the AI next time you're in there.
Yeah, of course you're real. Of course you're very real, Shane. It's very soothing to me. Did nothing happen to Forest Ray? Okay, let me try from my phone. Have I not approved rigs yet? Jeez.
So we were waiting for this person, right? Well, the person that showed up, is that who we were waiting for, Stone?
Yeah, that's Dr. Bass down the bottom there, Forest Ray. Just hover over him and you'll see his username is the same.
Ah, there he is.
There you go.
Zero following, zero followers. A little sus.
Yeah, I'm a little. I'm sorry to interrupt, boys, but I can't. I don't know if I can't hear somebody speaking. I've had to rejoin like 3 times.
I hear you.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you hear me?
Yes, but I mean, somebody I guess was speaking, and then it was just blank. So I don't know if they're still talking.
Rigs.
Okay.
Did you
Do
hear,
you hear
Go
Shane?
on.
Do you hear Shane?
Rigs.
Yes.
Alright, cool.
I
It
wanted
is
to
also
comment
just
on the
really
Duffy
quiet.
thing.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I was listening to some of the language he was using in his most recent video, and as far as I can tell, he doesn't seem like he's really open. I know you guys were saying like, oh, they'll just take anybody; they're just looking for red meat or whatever. It sounds like he's not really open to expanding the list beyond the people that they pre-selected. And on that note, it sounded like. Well, there was a couple other details, but it doesn't seem like they're really open. It seems like what they want is some kind of staged event where it is a well-known name, FE guy, and it has nothing to do with their qualifications. It has everything to do with like what would be good in a press release, like this guy's name or that guy's name, you know? Because like me personally, I would rather pick like somebody who knows everything about how to measure these things and like well versed with equipment, some like a team of people who are like I don't know, I wouldn't say like necessarily
Experienced with
scientists,
the
but like,
instruments. Yeah, I hear you.
yeah, absolutely, and could look for all the different things, but natively, not just somebody who's like, oh well, they picked me, so I'm going to learn to do it today, you know.
But I don't think it's that immediate. Even if it takes us till September to get the people right and get the equipment together, then we've still got 2 months to train those people practically on the equipment.
Okay, that's fair, but then there may be other aspects of it's kind of like when I had my CDL, I had a brand new respect for truckers because I had an awareness of the danger of the truck driving next to me. I knew more about its weight, its capacity, the way that it handles on the road. You know, how far should I just keep my regular vehicle away from it just to be safe on the regular? You know, my grandma doesn't know that. My mom doesn't know that. So there's always just like different things that, and
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like, you know, Austin isn't keen or anything. He's absolutely very sharp. But I don't know. Like, I guess I would want like a MacGyver to go or something along those lines. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I hear you. Honestly, I there are certain things that I know, how to do that I could never within a few months tell someone how to go do it. It's like there would never, if they were a layman and I had to have them go, install a Suricata packet sniffer software or something on a Linux server, it'd be like, there's no amount of preparation I can give you that's ever going to make you,
Yeah.
properly apt to do this. But, I think the more, I think the best point you make there though is just like, it's all about that headline.
Yeah.
That's all they
Well,
care about. You're spot on with that. And dude, it's just like, it's the way that they write their narratives, right? Like they don't even need it to go any certain way. They can have their headline, flat earther sent to Antarctica sees 24-hour sun, still denies flat earth or whatever. Like they'll frame it just like they frame Bob and Jaron, no matter what actually happens. The thing about it is, it doesn't work like it used to. I don't think it's going to keep working forever like it used to. They can't just pull over the same behind the curve stuff like they used to be able to do. It's kind of bubbled past that point, in my opinion. But I think that might be what they're trying to do, right? Is just like they write their headlines. They don't really care about any of the details. And then, Will Duffy gets his little scam fame or whatever and tries to cash out from it. And then, FTFE and Craig or whatever, they all get or Craig and MC2, and they all get free
the benefit of,
content.
I mean, the language he used was so revealing to me. Like, I think you guys are right. Like, there's some angle being worked here because the way he was speaking, I didn't get the feeling that he really wanted somebody to find out for sure. It sounded like that was just one of the plans in the list of, goals that he had for us. Because when he was talking about like who could qualify and who could go and the stipulations, and he hasn't answered yet, so we're not sure. The whole time it just sounded like he was totally detached from like it shouldn't matter who goes as long as it's like a trusted FE that's familiar with the equipment and can pass the message along, right? Why does it have to be like, they have to have these many subs and like that has nothing to do with proving the point. And it seemed like he was more interested in, they have to have this many followers, and they have to, wake up at this time of the day. Like, it just didn't make any sense to me the way he was presenting his concern. Like, his concern seemed totally disingenuous to me. And I was totally thrown off by that because like somebody who actually was going in with the motive that he presented to everybody would not have said those things that way. So I'm like, okay, is this like there's some pyramid scheme? Is he launching a new product or what else is going on here?
Yep, dude. That's
He's gonna do a
exactly how I
Bitcoin
see it.
drop right after that. Sorry.
Dude, is there Antarctica token or whatever?
They have a new
I know.
crypto-backed, like Antarctica funded, Flat Earther tiers backed drop in the middle of our new event, and everyone's gonna get to put a stake in.
All right, Bass is back in the room. Want to hit him up?
Are we sure that's a real person, Stone?
Well, we'll tell him to break out his guitar and prove it. Why not?
I was thinking I wouldn't be surprised if he starts a travel company that goes to Antarctica and he's using the flat earthers as like a way to promote it or something. That would make total sense why he's a billionaire if that's the case.
Nah, dude. I mean, the guy. I'll keep the rest of my comments to myself. Let's just put it this way: I would never do business with that guy in any way, shape, or form, personally.
Yeah, I still don't even know who this guy is because I never gave a shit. And I like Jaren's bottom line, which was, if I read him correctly, let him give a shit, and who gives a shit if he gives a shit. I think, if I could quote him verbatim.
Verbatim, bro.
Well, and another thing, it seems like in this whole process, like Jaren is all up in his feelings. I'm not sure that somebody that, and I'll die on, I'll die on the hill, whatever. I'll be the guy. I'll be the martyr or whatever.
You
It
want to take
seems
his
like
FE card back? I'll get it. You
no,
asked me,
I
dude. I'll
just
get it from him.
no. I don't think that, like, somebody who feels that way probably shouldn't be the one who's going. The way that he's like blasting off on everybody, I just don't think he's the guy. I just don't. I don't see any benefit. Somebody who's going to be that emotional and like erratic, just in general, it just doesn't make sense to me.
The only thing I watched him was him telling everyone to
What are you
stop
talking
caring
about?
so much. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. If Jaren's the most cool comments that I've seen in a while. I mean, what do you mean sporadic? I don't get it.
Yeah, he's the perfect person to send, dog. Everyone else is literally shitting the bed and crying and saying the most insane, retarded arguments ever, like to the point where I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know you were actually a Glober the whole time.
Well,
It's like
here's the thing,
he's
right?
literally the only one that's like, yeah, I mean, it would put a significant damper and everything. Like, at least he's honest about that, dude. You know,
Okay,
people
Yeah.
well,
literally shitting
And
the
if you,
bed
if you
over
see
it. And
and if you
then
see
they're sending
Jaren's
him a bunch of shit. You know, they're sending him a bunch of DMs. Oh, I hope you die on the way and all this crazy shit. It's like, I don't know, like what you've seen, dog, but like he's literally the best person that we could send, in my opinion.
exactly, and if you ever seen his debates and how he moderates, he's literally the most objective person to be out there, aside from Witson. So yeah,
Right? I
he'll
say
be
that all
fine.
the time. Like, all the time. Yep.
and he's just putting too many requirements on like what like he's just telling people, oh well, if we see this, then it's absolutely, he's basically
Without a physical
what's it called?
mechanism, that's true though, right? So it's a model defining issue because we have a model where we have a physical model from No Fanfare where we can demonstrate southern stars. We could demonstrate the equator thing with the stars, all of that, right? So it's like we have a physical demo for it. We wouldn't have a physical demo at this moment for a 360 sun, so it would be model defining, like argumentatively, right?
Ooh.
I don't think it
So
would. I don't think it would determine globe though. I don't.
well, it
Either
doesn't
way.
matter if it determines a globe. It's like we don't have a physical mechanism to say to argue it back, right? This would be a distinguishing factor where I personally would like, yeah, I'm a flat earther, but I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh yeah, but the Antarctic sun isn't I don't know what the sun is. That's a retard argument. If
Well,
it
I
if
just
it
don't think
breaks
so,
the
man.
geometric, I mean, if you have a physical demonstration of it, then like we're solid, right? But I don't think it happens at all, so I'm not even worried about it, right? But if it does happen, and if you happen to be worried about it, you should find a physical demonstration of it.
That's the thing. We all know how broken Globy logic is, and I think this is yet another example that they're saying, okay, if we can prove this, then we're going to smash the entire flat Earth argument, and that is glib, to say the least. And I'm sure you guys can see it, that we've already schooled them and raked them over the coals with more than 20 other issues they have no answers for. This happens to be one of the big ones, but it ain't everything. And I
Nope.
think this is what we need to address.
That's kind of my feeling behind it, is that there's a lot of unknowns, even with like in the models that we're hypothesizing. There could be other options. I'm not a fan of other options, but I'm not going to just determine. I'm not going to make a conclusion based on some location I'm not totally sure that they're at. Um, with possible other sky phenomena that could exist in, outer ponders or whatever. I'm not even a big fan of that. Like, that's other people's stuff. But I'm still open minded to it. Like it's just the information I've had access to currently that has limited my options. And then this whole trip is, it's a very exclusive, limited trip. Okay, this kind of a trip doesn't happen often, so it makes me wonder. Okay, why do they choose this day? What's the benefit of this? Do they have some kind of control over what you can see, or I'm just my playbook's open, and it just seems like when it comes to Jaren, he's very like, no, it has to be this way, and I just can't flow with that. That's all.
Well, I'm just gonna say on the topic, right, that I don't know, man. It shouldn't be a big deal for anybody. We should all be very intrigued to know what's going on with it. We should all want to see it. Some of us are quite confident that we won't see it. I would say the fact that they faked it makes it very, very sus. But if it's there, then like that's not a big deal to me. It'd be very intriguing. I won't have a physical mechanism explanation. I can't say I really have a dynamic explanation for anything right now as it is. All of the models are just models. They're all just theories. I can't go out there and quantify, verify any of it. So, it's
Yep.
all just a journey. And I'm very happy to hear, what they see in the South. The South is insane. Like there's so much about it that's just absolutely like the seas, the wall, the mountains, the apparent size of it. Like it's not a place you can easily just go travel around in. So, anything we can
That's
learn
for
about that.
starters.
Yeah, anything we can learn about that,
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued. And if someone happens to see a sun go all the way around them, like to me, it's just like, dude, like, okay, like the sky seems to have some kind of seems to be some kind of a spherical phenomena, but I cannot go out there and quantify what it is. And everything's in apparent positions in the first place. These are like beautiful lights in the sky that were there, seemingly placed there by a greater power than I. And anyone trying to assert to me what that stuff is, and what the dynamic explanation of it is, I'm very skeptical of. No matter who it is, flat earther, globe earther, like you don't know what's there. You don't know. Like, yes, sonoluminescence is very intriguing, and I'm very interested in that theory. I am very open to it, very interested in it, but I'm not going to assert that's what it is. And obviously, balls of gas, interesting theory. There's other possible explanations, but I don't know, man. Like, can we measure curvature? No. Can we measure motion? No. But I don't know. Maybe I would reassess things a little bit, but their model is trash, and to pretend like just because it's a model, I don't know. It's all a journey. I'll leave it on that.
I think
Kinda
all the
rambling.
tools will be necessarily sharpened, that the bar will be raised here, and that we will be forced to focus solely on provable claim on both sides of the fence and then take score, which I think is what should have happened at the beginning. You know, forget conjecture, forget theory book, forget all of that. Let's just talk about provable claim. And this is one of them, sure, but it isn't all of them. And that's where we need to get busier with our little brains, just rub them together a little harder, guys, and come up with more, better, more invincible things to offer the Globies. I think we lost Bass again. What's going on here?
Yeah, he's having some issues. Every time he clicks accept the mic, it just disconnects him. So not
Crappy.
sure.
Well,
It's
he's
just
back again. Give it another shot.
typical Twitter stuff. So
Yeah, go.
Mic check, mic check, mic check.
yeah.
Yo, what's up,
Yep,
Dave?
solid.
Right on.
There he
So,
is.
I know
Dave,
I'm a
joining
little
us from
late.
the
Yeah,
pond.
Give us that
that's
Antarctica
right.
gravy.
I heard Briggs say Outer Ponders. I was listening on YouTube, so figured out that was my calling. But yeah, that actually is perfect for the conversation that's going on, because you see my meme that is about them tricking the flat earthers and the globe earthers to go down to Antarctica. And it was never about the 24-hour sun. It was actually to meet the outer ponders, or have some kind of witness of outer ponders to come back with their psyop version of outer ponders, mind you. I mean, most likely, like they go down there and then it's like, oh, they're going to put on like a, a sighting of the outer ponders for everyone to witness, and then that'll start the ancient ancestor, quote unquote, alien invasion or alien uh, out extraterrestrial sightings that gets confirmed, and they can start on that possibly, or argue about whether it was actually aliens or just actual people, and if it was people in costumes and all that could be. I mean, it sounds far fetched, of course, but where's this confidence coming from? Is what I wanted to say on their part,
True.
because the evidence that we have for 24-hour sun is not even at all there. It's like very, very few videos that are obviously edited. So where's this
I
big
think
confidence coming from on their
here
part?
I hear you using words like confidence, but in the back of my head, I hear terms like professional arrogance.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Is that what it is? 'Cause, I mean,
yeah. It's
then
just
it makes me feel like something's up. Like whether it's the outer ponder thing or if they got some kind of trick with like using a spotlight to make it seem like it was a 24-hour sun or something.
the trip. They could go find the glass dome and bang on it with a hammer a few times, and he'd be fine with it. He'd still would just run with the same script, right? Like he doesn't care what actually happens down there.
Yeah.
He's just catching the fame, catching the ride. He's got whatever he's doing with this is, I think it's mostly just about painting the headline. It's like, you could look at things that happened 4-ish years ago, and really all it is just you make the headlines. You can write your history, right? And then regardless of what
But
really
do you think it's just
happened,
one guy? Do you think it's just one guy with the confidence? Because it seems like all the Globies,
No.
possible shills, are jumping on and like making a big deal of it. It almost seems like it's not just one guy behind this.
Anybody who
I'm
is a billionaire, if that's true, is not just one guy. Let's be very clear about that.
I'm betting that most of those articles have already been written for the most part.
exactly, exactly, well said.
You mean the articles about what happened before it happened?
You got it. Just like 9/11.
And just
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 just like JFK. Sorry.
conceptually, that kind of makes the point. Like, is even if they're not literally written, they're figuratively written already. Like whatever's going to be there it's not going to be any different depending on what Witsit and Jaren see and say, and what they record.
Well, that's why it could be something suspicious going on, so they can make sure that whatever they wrote beforehand fits it. Whether they're paying off anybody that ends up going on the fighter side, or threatening them, or making some kind of illusion that makes them like put their integrity put in question. No, we all saw it. He
Or
was right
get
there. And
dose
then even if
inverted
Witchy
serum.
thought it was a spotlight instead of the sun, or didn't seem like perfect to that to Witsit, they'll have everybody on the globe side saying, "Yep, we actually caught it, and that's what we saw." These furfers are just in denial. That's the plan, I think, bro.
Theoretically, I hope Jaren is the best person there because he learned from the Netflix documentary. Remember, so of all the
Exactly.
mistakes that happened with them, and him, being screwed over and having just been pretty much a hit piece out on him. He should have learned from those mistakes and be the best person out there, be more attentive for these kind of tricks. So theoretically, um,
I
that's a
get the
plus.
vibe that he did learn from it too. Yeah, I agree.
How hard would it be to get a big? I mean, they got a budget, right? Big ass spotlight for the time that the sun's not there, just to put something and it's cloudy enough, make it look like the sun's there. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard, really, if you have enough.
Well, it would be. Here's what would be hard about it, right? Is you've got Witsit and Jaren with all the tools of their own desires to bring compasses and thermal cameras, thermal imaging. Um, like there would be, so we'd have two people there with a high level of discernment that are going to be going with instruments to be able to, properly observe the what the sun should do. So I would think it wouldn't be so easy necessarily to fake a sun. You can see that something's going on, I think. Maybe I'm overconfident, but that's my thoughts on it.
Well, the latest prediction from Jaron right here is that he predicts 4 days of cloud cover. Duffy loses 160K, and no one ever wants to go down there again. End quote.
I mean, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they have enough cloud cover, just a spotlight in the clouds could be like enough for the Glovers to say that was it,
There's
or
got to be a
if they plan
departure
on that.
point, right? There's got to be a departure point to the west where they light one up to the point where we fail to be able to see the original sun on its way back the other way, still above the horizon. You know what I mean? It's got to be that good. That's a very tight set of thresholds, if you will, and you have to be able to predict what kind of gear people are bringing in terms of their sensitivity to pick these things up.
I can
Yep.
see the article now. Flat Earther sees sun in Antarctica, and that sounds good enough in the newspaper.
Yep. Yep.
Sees sun in Antarctica.
At night,
Doesn't
yeah.
matter what the fuck they see. Oh, look, there's light in the sky for most of the day. Flat Earther debunked.
Yeah, see, they don't even need to be right, logical, backed up by reason, have any corroborative evidence, measurable evidence, physical evidence whatsoever. They can just say things and then people
Yeah,
believe it.
that's why I don't know what Jaron actually said. I never listened to it, but if anyone's saying that he said, or for anyone saying, if he was actually saying that it would make a difference, like it would be a flat Earth debunk, and building it up that way or allowing them to build it up that way is ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't think it's fair that he does that. Now, that's the feeling I got. Sorry, Alan. It was just a feeling I got. Like, I think he should not be fighting people so much. It should just be like
I like how you apologize to Alan for not liking the John.
well, no. Alan and
bro.
Alan and
To be
Jaron-
clear, I don't care either way, dog. Like you can have your own opinion and shit. I just
You're allowed to do whatever you want, Riggs,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I just wanted to say something to defend my boy.
I know he's your boy. I just
My
It's
opinion
so-
is
it's
that
so
your
easy.
opinion is stupid. Sorry.
My dad can beat up your
easy
dad,
for them
dude.
to win. They can get a
Or
win
whatever.
so easy that it doesn't like we don't have to fight
Yeah.
about it so much, because like look at Mad Mike, dude. Fuck, dude, that guy wasn't even a flat earther. They fucking crushed us in the news.
I have no
My
idea
whole
who that is.
family was hitting me up on that dumb
Was
shit.
was that Rocketeer guy who killed himself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
What's that?
Yeah, you better do some Googling, Alan. You got to get up on that one.
Yeah, Mad Mike was a stunt man. And he did a lot of rocket stuff just to fire one up into the sky and somehow survive it. And then one time he didn't because the chute was mounted on the back of his rocket, but it left the rocket as he left the launch pad. And I don't think he was
I
aware
don't
of
even.
that. And he wasn't aware of that until he tried to deploy the chute on his way back down toward Earth, which gave him all of 4 seconds to react to that problem.
I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the. I'm not sure about the authentic authenticity of his death, but it doesn't matter. Not to get into that
He's
subject.
still alive too.
But
come on, some
but
Well,
the
I
scary
think of
part
the way
about it
that
because
I
Witch.
know
Look
about
at him, man.
Yeah, I've looked into it pretty closely. Other things that he's also fake, but I mean, I was there when he was talking to IPS and putting it all. It doesn't matter about that part of it. But the scary part is Austin is a valuable part of what we're doing, and even if they just make him out to be like the point that Riggs just made, or we're talking about the headline making him look like a dumb flirt when it's the exact opposite. All of it, just whatever actually could happen, whether they cause something to happen or not, it is dangerous. So that's the reason I would say don't even give it time. But and plus, why would they, again, with the confidence, if they think that there's actually proof of the 24-hour sun already with these videos that are very questionable, if they think that's proof, then basically they're admitting it's not good enough proof by saying we need to go down there, right? So let's establish that to begin with.
The deal is already logically pooched. I mean, why would people need to fake one in the first place? And since they have, that tells us all about it. I mean, there
Dude.
really isn't much left to talk about there.
Yeah, I'll say this. One of the biggest things for me coming up, because I haven't thought about Antarctic and the sun and all that in a long time, until this started recently coming up again. But one of the big things for me is you guys all know the story when there was that outpost or whatever in Antarctica that was sending back footage, and there was when Jaren and Glowbusters and all them went to go look at the footage. that's missing 8 hours, and it's missing the 8 hours that would prove the model, like the mutually
Right.
exclusive proof of the sun. And then like that just happened to be the missing part. And their reason, dog, was, oh, there's bandwidth issues. Like when I first heard that, I was like, oh, that's a wrap. It doesn't exist at all. That's not a real excuse. That's not a real thing. That would be a hurdle. Like, oh no, we can't show you we can't.
Right.
Oh, sorry, we can't show you the greatest mutually exclusive proof of where we live ever, because of no GTFO, dog. That's not even a real thing. So like from that moment on, I was like, yeah, that's a wrap, dude. So like,
No, there's a key point to add to that. It's
Yeah.
that for the rest of the year, when it's not summer, 24-hour webcam, no problem, all the time.
Yeah, the
It's
bandwidth.
just
Right,
in
right.
the fucking summer that they just can't seem to manage it.
Oh, see, I didn't know that in this, like, or I must
You
have
know why?
forgot
That's the summer
that.
bandwidth,
Yeah.
bro. You
No,
weren't
Dave
informed.
Weiss
Yeah.
talks about it pretty quick, but you got to catch that phrase.
Oh,
He does utter
yeah.
it. You bet.
I did not know
Bandwidth
that.
increases
So,
with solar activity, homie.
dude, so yeah, that's a wrap, dude. So like the whole idea, like the only thing that I'm, where or whatever, is like what Stone was saying, is like based off of where it's at, how you could do some fakery, and then you could like really do some hindering to a movement. And also like this just happened in Brazil, right? So this is just the same. They're just trying to see if anyone's trying to bite, because it definitely can't happen.
Wait, what happened in Brazil?
They did the same thing to the flat earth movement over there. They were like, yo boys, you guys trying to go to Antarctica? And they were like, nah, just send us footage. And they were like, nah. and the whole thing got canceled.
Oh, so they tried it over there first. Yeah, I think I was walking my dog. And
They're
you guys were going
smart
over there.
enough not to go. Yeah. Fucking
Well, no,
A.
they said send us footage right now. Just do it right now.
Yeah, they were
For
like, we don't
sure,
have to
why
wait.
not?
Just send
Like
it.
we're
And
not
they were
waiting for shit.
Yeah.
Brazilians are based, dude.
I like it. And why should we have to wait? I want to see the star trails right now. What's wrong with that?
Nah, bitch. Now and nothing. All right. You
Well,
said,
I mean,
you said shit to get off the pot. What do you guys want to do?
winter
we
is
have to get off the pot.
show me star trails now. Give me a little fucking pregame. Get
I
me
really
get a
would
chub
like
going.
to see what the star trail looks like at Union right now. That would be interesting to
Well,
see.
no shit.
Yes,
Yes,
that.
for sure.
You know what? They should make that as okay. Here's another thing. Duffy, he has some kind of like really greased up relationship with these people that he's working with, because he's like, oh yeah. Well, next time you talk to those people, just make sure that you told them my name. That way you can get like special privilege and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? Who's this guy? Like, well, if that's what they should do, we agree to the fucking terms as long as our securities are met. And if you guys go ahead and pregame us some fucking star trails right now, how about that?
Sounds reasonable.
Sounds totally fucking reasonable. How about that?
100% not going to do that.
Cash me outside.
Yeah, that sounds unreasonable if I was them. It's like, no, that's going to ruin the whole point of what I want to do.
Yeah, that doesn't match up with their agenda. You can't have that.
Yeah, but wouldn't that call their bluff? Just slightly?
Oh, for sure. If he's rich, he's rich. Shouldn't be a problem. Just get
Yeah,
down there, buddy. Grab a fucking camera. Let's go.
Apparently, Antarctica's got the lube for this guy. They can set up a camera in advance. He's going to be spending hundreds of $1,000 probably.
Yeah, he's even got the drone permits lined up. He's happening. Let him go.
No shit. Did
Yeah,
he get
yeah,
the
for sure.
permits, or is he just
He
talking about it?
specified. Again, something else when he was talking to Jaron 2 weeks ago. Check the live
Yeah.
stream.
No. He said
Yeah,
it, but did he get the
worked out
permits?
all the paperwork? And the point is that Jaron quizzed him on this stuff, already having checked out. Jaron already checking out himself what the paperwork requirements were, so that he asked him about them, and he could specify and articulate how he had met them. So that part was convincing.
All right, whoever's got a bug in this guy's ear, somebody please say one of the requirements is that we want star trails leading up to the event, like once a month, every couple weeks, whatever, like some kind of camera. Who knows?
Oh no, man. I just need one 12-hour exposure. I don't need to see next month. I
Yeah,
just need
I
to see
would-
one of them from 79 and a half south, 81 west is kind of where they're at. Yeah, that's all I would need. Just 12 hours. Just stick it on the tripod, point it straight up, and snap some frames once every 5 minutes as time goes by, and put
79
them
south?
together.
You said 79 south.
Yeah, 79.5 south, 81 north.
Wow.
I
So
think is where they're at.
I would like some southern star trails with a 79 area degree of
You see,
declination. I would
that's
like
a
that, please.
geometric requisite for me. I need to see that for sure
Right.
because ain't nobody else publishing it down there. All these people living in Antarctica, none of them that I've seen has posted a star trail down there.
Well, can we get
Just
behind this,
sun
guys?
exposures.
I think it's an absolute fucking necessity. Like, why cherry pick, 5 days out of like a 2-year cycle trip or some shit when we can't even see the star trails? Like, let's get that
It,
shit on the books.
it should be the easiest thing because it's 10 degrees off your zenith. It's
Yeah.
straight up, man. It's the easiest thing to shoot.
Imagine, dude. I would want
At
to
the
see
very
that.
least, let's get them to say no, and then we'll know some shit's up.
Well, hopefully they will have the presence of mind and skill to say, "Oh yes, but we can only give you that in the winter when it gets dark." Right?
Right.
But the bigger point is they should have them for the last 30 years. There should be some star trails from some Antarctic base at some point in the last 30
Well,
years,
they have the
posted
ceremonial
somewhere
poll.
on YouTube in our history. And I don't see it. I don't see it anywhere. Can they not
Yeah.
produce that? What's going on? And why can't they? This is the big question, right?
Yeah, all they have is the ceremonial pole star trails, but that just isn't convincing enough
Yeah,
for
but
me. I
shot
want to
from
see
way
different
lower
angles.
latitudes, though. They're shot from
Right.
30, 40, 50 south, whatever. And this is 79. This is where it matters, right? You should prove
Well, no, you
the
haven't seen
whole
it?
thing right there. No, I've
Yep.
never seen anybody produce a star trail exposure from 79 south, you
Well,
know?
from the
100%
ceremony,
never.
where is the ceremonial pole?
Oh, no, they claim that's actually at the pole. It doesn't matter. The point is it's close enough to it south that I want to see
Yeah.
what's going on straight up in the sky. You know what I
Right.
mean? What does that actually look like down there? Does it look like the
Right.
same as it does here? Probably not. But
Yeah, I think
I
we
sure
should
would like to
hammer them
see.
on this.
But if
I
it
think it
does,
would be
we
a point
still
of
win.
contention.
That's a good one, right? Even if it looks
Yeah.
identical, my model works fine. But if it
I'm
doesn't, I'm curious to see what it is. Because what the
Mhm.
fuck?
I'm thinking it's going to be far from round. I'm
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
it's going to be elliptical, and that's going to blow the Globey model out.
I was like, oh, this is where all the elliptical math comes from, guys. You're trying to account for that.
I mean, especially when you take
So
no fanfares work into account. That's what I'm thinking is going to
I was
happen.
gonna say, you know how at the equator you get that divergence out? Do you think it like starts to re-wrap around in that area? So you would get like a secondary effect, kind of?
It's doing something irregular is my postulation, and
Yeah.
they aren't disproving it anywhere along this road. Whether people be paying
Yeah.
attention or not, I don't see it anywhere. There's got to be a reason for that.
Yeah, it is a very specific coordinate system that they give us, and they've given us very specific limitations on where we can go. And I think the irregularities at the further reaches of the south are model defining as
Visible
well.
and apparent to everyone, I would think. That's why it's like, oh, hey, guys, oh, back up. No one's coming down here ever.
Man,
It's like watching TV from 8 inches away, 2 feet below the TV. You know what I mean?
yes.
So let's get MC Tune and FDFE on the horn like right now and say, hey, dude, where's your Star Trails shot from 79 South? Has anybody got one? You got 20 different stations from 14 different countries. Has anybody shot that Star Trail any time in the past? And send them digging, because if they can't find that, why are we going down there?
Yeah.
Fair point.
Let me at them.
So yeah, I'm glad we opened that can of worms because that ended up being, I think, a fruitful discussion. Anyone else have any final thoughts before we wrap things up here?
Nope, think that's it for me.
Looking good.
Cool. Well then, everybody, thank you for being here and hanging out with us. It was a tight crew, or I guess a slim crew or whatever, but I thought it was pretty enjoyable. So thanks for being here with us, and thanks for listening in to everyone that was listening in on the live streams. And check us out next Tuesday check Dr. Bennett out. Robert Bennett will be giving part 2 of the Hildegard model presentation. So come check that out. And of course, Monday night we'll be doing reading night, and we'll do another one of these next Thursday night. So Monday nights is at 9 p.m., Tuesday nights is 8 p.m., and this is 9 p.m. So there you go. Those are all Eastern times. But thanks for being here with us, and take care of yourselves. And adios.
Come back
Hmm.
soon,
Oh,
Lily. We miss you.
and real quick before we end, Saturday at 11 p.m. Eastern, I'll be presenting on Earth Awakenings on the correctness of quantum electrodynamics. So the presentation I did a couple weeks ago on Aether Cos,
Cool.
I'll be doing another rendition over there for the boys.
Nice. Yeah, definitely go check that out, and probably be some discussion afterwards, I assume. So check that out. And also just join that Discord server because they do a lot of open discussion there. Good night, everybody.